guys. It is Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. I just wanted to post a really quick vlog to let you know what's going on here. Um, my Shakara transformation, Shakara, yeah, it's the Phoenix Rising, was the program. Our transformation program ended yesterday, so that was cool to have our last live stream. I've been working a lot this week because I didn't work barely any at all last week just because I was dealing with stuff with my dad and, all that. So, good news is that my dad was able to get transferred to long term care, which is awesome. Unfortunately, like I said, I cannot handle my bullshit life. My stepmom died last Sunday unexpectedly. So, not this past week, not the 28th, but the 21st. And so that changed my dad's medical assistant application because now his house is considered an asset and his vehicles are considered assets and all these things. And unfortunately, my dad is one of those guys that never thought he was going to be old and never thought he was going to be sick. And he never thought that he would have something that the VA didn't pay for. So I know I've talked about that before. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just laughing because it's funny, right? And I'm not making fun of my dad. But yeah. So anyway, so we are now dealing with, and you're going to hear my mom's dog. His name is Mosley. He's a cream chow. So he's he looks like a polar bear with a purple tongue. He's pretty awesome. We're also fostering my dad's two little dogs too. They have a Highland Terrier and a Cockapoo. And so my mom took them after Claire died just because they didn't have anywhere to go. And so we're going to take care of them for as long as we need to. And they have a vet appointment tomorrow and my mom gave them a bath and they seem to be pretty happy and adjusting to being here. So, anyway, so we had Claire cremated. And my brothers and I, we took care of the financial aspects of that just because I promised my dad that, and I promised Claire too, that we would take care of her because she was she was having a really hard time coping with my dad, not coming home and just different things like that. And so, I told her we would take care of her and all that stuff. And thankfully we found out that her mother had purchased a family plot in the cemetery that's in our town. And so she has a place to go, which is awesome. It's right between her son and her mother, which is what my dad wanted. So that's where we will place her. We probably won't do anything until this summer. And then, yeah, so we got that done. And I got through all the important paperwork. I'm only missing one important piece of paperwork, and it's around their taxes, and it's from Social Security, and it's for Claire, but I've got my dad's, but because her Social Security number is now technically inactive because she passed away, I couldn't request a duplicate copy online, so we're gonna have to figure out how to do that. So where do I start with this? I got a phone call yesterday from the social worker where my dad is staying. And I had talked to my dad on Saturday and he seemed fine. He was a little bit annoyed with me because he either has figured out or is just assuming or whatever that I am the person who signed him in to his long-term care facility, which is not inaccurate. That is actually true because there wasn't anyone who could else to sign papers. And my dad does not have a POA. And I was hoping to get in this week to see him to do that. And it sounds like they're going to let me in on Wednesday. I have to have a COVID test, and I am going to be so pissed if they do that test and I'm positive. I will be pissed, But anyway, I got a phone call yesterday from social work, and she said that my dad has been refusing to take his medication. And I was like, that's not unusual though for my dad because he's done that on and off while he's been hospitalized. And so I was just like, okay, that didn't surprise me at all. But on Saturday, he was very clear and he didn't seem confused, and he was very like my dad has been, right, for the last few weeks since they got his medication adjusted and like all this stuff. But with Lewy body dementia, as it is with probably all dementia, things change very quickly. And my dad will get very suspicious of people and suspicious of his medication and, whatever. But he's always kind of come around with it. And it's never been, a really like, it's never been a bad thing. And then what they do is they eliminate the medication that's not necessary, and focus more on the things that are critical. So the things that would be critical would be, right, obviously, like the antipsychotics. It would be, which help control his anxiety and the hallucinations that he has, and then his stuff for his AFib and his COPD and his congestive heart failure. And he has not apparently been taking those things for a number of days, I guess, which shocked me because he was doing so well. And he talked to me on Friday and on Saturday. And so I was just like, this is weird, but again, not maybe not weird at the same time, like to be expected, right? Anyway, so she said to me, which I was not prepared for, she's like, I think we should set your dad up with hospice. And I was like, what? And she's like, I'm not saying he's going to like die tomorrow, but he's been refusing meds and some of these meds are very critical to him staying alive. And I was like, I feel that like, because some of those AFib meds that he's on legitimately are like, he needs to have them or he's going to have an arrhythmia. And like, my dad's a DNR, and he's going to die. Like it's, they're not gonna put him on, they're not going to do like heroic efforts, right? To like keep him alive. And he wouldn't want that. And like, my thing is like, I'm all about the quality of life at this point, and my brothers and I are all in agreement about that versus quantity. So I just was like, okay, and there's a difference between hospice and comfort care, right? So comfort care means that they would still give him all his medication that he normally would take, assuming he will take it. And then he still gets to eat. He still actually has physical therapy, all of the different things, and, he may get to where he's better, but then they would give him additional medication, right? For pain control, whatever. Hospice is different. Hospice is they discontinue all those meds. They, give you morphine or whatever, and just control your pain and anxiety until you pass away. And, she said, she was like, I don't think your dad's going to die tomorrow, but, I think we should start this. So I'm waiting for a phone call from the hospice place. You guys can see all my mom's recycling. You see that big bag of bird food right there. So my mom feeds the birds and she makes bird seed. She makes suet and she has all of the things behind me have bird seed in them, except for that green bag right there that actually she uses for her recycling because it's so huge. She can fill the whole thing up. It's like 50 pounds of bird seed that was in that bag. But anyway, so that's what we're waiting for. And it's just weird. The whole thing is very weird because I was like, but he seemed fine on Saturday. Like he was, like I said, he was annoyed with me because he was pissed that I signed him into a nursing home. I'd be pissed too. And, but at the same time, if he's not taking his medication for his dementia, he's going to have so much anxiety and the hallucinations will probably become troublesome to him. And he's going to be combative and like all these things. And I don't want my dad to, this is terrible. It sounds awful when you say it out loud, but like, I would rather have my dad go on his own terms than like, whether if that's through like a comfort care or, whatever, and keep him comfortable, then have him be confused and stressed and anxious for the next 5 years. Like, that's just not, something that I would want for him. Right. And I don't think he would either. And my brothers don't either. Like, we've all talked, we have our family meetings, and we talk about this stuff. Right. And so, yeah, that's where we are. So I'm just waiting to find out what the hell is going on. That's pretty much it. Yeah. That's where I'm at. Anyway, I was able to catch a couple of Pulpy Syntax lives this weekend, which was super therapeutic for me, like to kind of see my internet friends and see Pulpy. And then, obviously Shakara Transformations. And I got a spam call coming in on my other phone. We're going to turn that off. I have two phones. I have one for work and one for home. This is the home phone. Don't mix business and pleasure, kids. But anyway, training is going good for what I've been able to do with the limited equipment that I have with me. It's on the floor right there. I have my kettlebell. I have my pair of 15-pound dumbbells, my ab mat. I have my bands. So I've been able to put together some really cool workouts. The Open starts next week, so I will be doing that here. They have different options this year. They have body weight. They have limited equipment. They have scaled and then RX. So I'm going to be able to do some stuff, which is good. I'm looking forward to that just to get a break mentally. Playing a lot of Stardew Valley, getting really good at fishing, pretty stoked. And then just try to take care of my dad, and thankfully Claire's all taken care of. They are just doing the death certificates for us now. But she's all done, which is good. And like I said, we'll do something this summer. And then if my dad happens to pass, we'll do something together. We'll do them both together. And we did find out that there is a veteran circle area where my dad would be eligible to go, which is really nice. I think he would really like that. So, but he didn't plan any of this. So my advice to everyone will always be, if you have not done so already, if you are even my age, and it's weird when you're 40, and I'm 41, but it's weird when you're in your 40s to start thinking about your funeral and stuff like that, because it seems like, you're talking 40 to 50 years down the road, hopefully, right? But you just never know. And so if you're young like me, start thinking about these things. If you're younger than I am, start setting money aside for supplemental insurance. Get life insurance. Life insurance is not always an investment, so talk to your financial advisors, but it could potentially help pay for funeral costs. Prepay and pre-plan your funeral. My grandma bought half the cemetery in the town where my mom grew up in. And so at least I know I've got a spot to go if I'm not married and not buried with my husband, in the future. But do that and talk to your family about what it is that you want. Get a healthcare directive in place. And I know it's weird, especially, like I said, people my age, if you're my age, you're 40, you're younger, watching this, it is really fucking awkward. Not gonna lie. It really is to talk about those things. But, start thinking about your healthcare directives. Get a power of attorney. Get a power of attorney in place. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't mean that they get access to your money. It just means that in the event that you are incapacitated in some way, that they could help you, pay your bills, file your taxes, put your house for sale, all the things that my dad never did, and I'm not shaming him, but just we had talked about these things, and he was always and that's my oatmeal back there, right there with my food scale. And my mom's getting a new dishwasher. That's why there's a hole right there in the ground. Yeah, she had to order it. The supply chain's all jacked up, so it's not going to be here until April, which is totally fine because I'll probably still be here. But anyway, get that secondary insurance if you're already on Medicare, if you're in the United States, get it. Save your money for it. Plan your funerals. Prepay those things. Cremations are, if that's your thing, and I understand that's not for everybody, that's totally fine, but less than $3,000. Set that aside, go to the funeral home and pay it, and they'll hold, it's just do those things. And like I said, get that, that POA, get it in place. This week when I was or last week, it would have been, my mom and I went to the bank. She put my name on her checking account. She's just I was going to do this anyway, but let's just get this taken care of. And my mom's 71, and so it's not, so even her death is not imminent, right? And all of her grandmas lived to be 100, and her father lived to be 92, and her mother is still alive and she's 90, so, but just get that stuff taken care of, because do not leave your kids or your family in that mess. That is the best gift you could give them. And I think a lot of people are focused on inheritance and if my mom dies, my brother inherits the house, which is worth, X hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever the hell it is, but honest to God, I would rather have my mom spend every dime she has, and for her care, right? For her long-term care and on her funeral and like on all the things, then have a freaking check for 50 G's in 40 years when she dies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just think about it like that, right? Think about it like that. Like, because I am literally holding, along with my two brothers, a burning bag of dog shit because my dad didn't plan for this stuff. And again, and Claire didn't either. And I'm not shaming them. I'm just, because I get it. Most people don't, I think, right? Because it's awkward to talk about it. It's awkward to talk about dying. Like, and it's awkward to talk about having dementia and like not, and like, oh, I didn't, and my dad never made a lot of money, right? So he never set aside anything because he didn't have anything like extra, right? But just, you know, just little things like that, right? And little things like that. Just protect yourself, right? And your family. So they're not dealing, because right now, I legally cannot do anything on behalf of my dad. Legally, I cannot. Like, and the people I've been dealing with have been very generous in what they're willing to talk to me about and like help me get to what, the answers that I need without like breaking the fucking law, right? And that's the thing. And my dad's not incompetent. And so that's like a declaration that has to be made in the courts. Like, it's not just because he has dementia, he still has rights. And I'm grateful for those rights. But, but I can't even help him. And like, I don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday when I go there because I have POA paperwork for him. And I have to like lie to him about what it is and just say like, oh, this is so, we can pay for Claire's funeral or something to get him to agree to sign it, because in his mind, he thinks he's going home in 3 weeks when he finishes rehab, and like, you don't want to lie to your 77-year-old father who has dementia, but this is the position, unfortunately, that I'm in, right? And it's just, we have to get this done so we can help him, right? And so I just, aside from, as Young Dumb Honey Bun would say, drink of water, eat your vegetables. I would add on to that is, take care of your business and do it now when you're still in the right frame of mind and can do it and have those hard conversations with your folks. And my mom doesn't have all of her like healthcare directive stuff figured out yet either. And she doesn't have all her money figured out, like where she wants stuff to go and all this stuff. But we're actually learning quite a bit about the look back that they do for medical assistance and like all this stuff. And fortunately, my mom was very good with her money. And my mom never made a lot of money either, but she was very good with it. And so she will always have too much money, like too many assets, to qualify for medical assistance and stuff. But, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. Because like I told her, I'd rather have all her stuff paid for than have to go through like all the stuff that we're dealing with my dad. Right. And we've learned a lot about like, where they start to look, right, for assets, right? So they have what they call a 5-year look back. So that means and I'm not telling anyone to do this, but if you have a significant number of assets and you're older or you're planning to be old, you might want to put them in your kids' names, just different things like that. Because if you all of a sudden are 85 and you need to go to a nursing home and you still own a house that's worth $500,000 and you're not married or your spouse has already passed away, well, guess what? The house has to be listed for sale within 6 months of you entering long-term care and has to be sold, and all of that money goes to pay for your care. And if you don't move those assets kind of around with, it has to be done 5 years prior to your admission and your application for medical assistance. And so even now, if we transfer the deed of my dad's house to, say, my brother, it's still my dad's asset because it would have been done 6 years ago. These are the things we've learned, okay? And again, I'm not encouraging anyone to do voodoo economics. But if you want to hide your money, you might want to start doing it now. So, but yeah, so we're learning a lot. And again, I just encourage everyone, please take care of this stuff. So you don't leave your loved ones in a situation like I'm in right now. And again, I'm not blaming my dad and Claire for this. First of all, they thought they had time, number one, because Claire was only 65 when she passed, and my dad's only 77. And so when I think about the age that my grandparents lived to, my great grandmothers both died when they were like 100, like 98, 90, whatever, and like I have no idea who that is. So we're just going to silence that. But and my grandfather lived to be 92, and like my grandma's 90 and she still lives on her own, so the idea of someone passing at 77 doesn't seem very old, right? And so just get yourselves ready, and like I said, I'm 41, and as soon as all this shit is done with my dad, like I have to start doing those things, and I don't have children, right? So for me, it's going to look a little different. From like my healthcare directive, I have a couple of close friends that I think would be fine executing my wishes. And, when the time comes, right, I have to figure out like, who do I want to make decisions for me, right? And my niece and nephew are all very young still. They're 7 and 4. So, in 11 years, like when Ellie turns 18, we'll probably be having that conversation. And unless I'm married and have stepkids or something like that, but yeah, so it's going to look a little different for everyone, but, I just encourage you all to, like I said, handle your business. It's important and it sucks and it's awkward, but, like I said, I'm literally holding a burning bag of dog shit right now. And if my dad passes soon, which I obviously selfishly don't want, but at the same time, like I said, I would rather have him have good quality of life than be confused and agitated for 5 years, all his stuff will go to probate because he doesn't have a power of attorney. And everything will get sold off, right, to settle his debt and stuff, which is fine. And, and I told my brothers, I said, I would prefer that all of that just be spent, right? And he's going to have, there's going to be medical bills and different things that they'll find, right, once it's in probate. And so from that regard, it'll be easier for us, but there's no guarantee that that happens anytime soon, right? That he passes anytime soon. So I'm going to try. If he's doing okay on Wednesday, I'm going to see, maybe he'll sign these papers and then we can start that process for him. So anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on everything. And weight's holding steady. I know that's trivial, but this is a weight loss channel. So, but yeah, just working through some stuff with my nutritionist and stuff too, just to make sure that like everything's still really balanced out. And so we're doing what they call a diet break right now, which is just we're slowly adding some food back in. But my weight, as long as my weight stays stable, right? It's not like a free for all. It isn't like all of a sudden you just go and you binge for 3 weeks. Like that's not how this works. So it's slowly adding a little bit more protein, carbs, and fats like every week. And as long as my weight stays very stable, then they'll just keep going until I start to like gain weight back, right? And then we'll stop there. But I'm super, super like sore from my last 2 workouts. So I'm carrying a lot of inflammation and fluid and stuff right now. So it'll be interesting to see what the scale looks like tomorrow. But anyway, all right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Sorry this was much longer than I was expecting. If you need a break from reality, Paul B. Syntax, 100%. His live reactions are excellent and on point and very like not shitty and negative. Same thing, Shakara Transformations is doing some amazing things in Bulgaria right now too. If you want to go check out her, she's volunteering at a shelter for animals, and oh my God, it's so cute. And like, they need a lot of help. So if you feel inclined or have the means to do it, you certainly don't have to, but they do take donations via PayPal. And they help get medicine and surgeries and stuff for all these animals. And then all of those animals, I think, are adoptable internationally, which is very interesting. So I might have a dog from Bulgaria show up here one day. I mean, we already have 3 dogs and a cat in the house right now. So, because my cat Kitty is with me. Mosley is on the floor next to me snoring. And then my dad's Toby and Elliot are in the other room because my mom built them like a little apartment so they wouldn't be bothered by Mosley because he's so much bigger, right? So anyway. But yeah, and then Jamie French, my favorite comedian slash makeup artist slash movie reviewer, just put out a fantastic cheesy teenage 90s video review where like every famous person in the world is in this video, and she did a really nice job on that too. So if you need a break from reality, go check out those channels. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a good day. Take care. Drink your water. Eat your vegetables, as Young Dumb Honey Bun would say, and pre-plan your funeral, as Pretty When You're Drunk would say. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.